Houston, we have a problem. In fact, it's a winning problem. Who would have thought that Dillon Brooks would be one of their more efficient players and that defense would rule in H-Town? What a wild turn of events. The Rockets have finally found a coach who can keep their young core in line and a group of veterans who can guide them. This team has undergone an incredible transformation, and now they have a record with more wins after 10 games. They have won 6 straight games in a row recently after starting the season 0-3. There's no single reason why the Rockets are suddenly so good, and we still don't know what their ceiling is. But one thing is for sure, I've been blown away by a couple of things, especially considering how they played last season. Let's start with the obvious. The Rockets have suddenly figured out how to play defense. Let's look at last season and see how the Rockets and the Grizzlies stacked up. When it came to defense, the Grizzlies were a defensive juggernaut, locking down their opponents and earning the second-best defensive rating in the league. On the other end of the court, their offense was more middle of the pack, ranking 15th in offensive rating. Meanwhile, the Rockets were struggling on both sides of the ball. Their defense was atrocious, allowing opponents to score at will, ranking second to worst in defensive rating. Then, their offense wasn't much better, ranking 4th to worst in offensive rating. Fast forward to this season, and the Rockets are no slouches on either end of the court. They're 5th in defensive rating, meaning they're stingy as heck. As for the Grizzlies, they've taken a step back defensively from last season, but that's not too surprising considering they lost a key player who was a big part of their defensive identity. But the real problem is that they're a shell of what they were last season. It's like they switched places with the Rockets in terms of who should be having a better record in the West. And a big part of the reason for that is Dillon Brooks, the self-proclaimed LeBron stopper. On defense, the Rockets are a whole different team with Dillon Brooks on the floor. When he's out there, they're giving up 10 fewer points per game. That's a huge difference. 10 points might not seem like a lot, but in the NBA, it can make all the difference. Just look at some of the top teams in the league. The Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers, they usually beat their opponents by around 10 or 11 points per game. That's right around the same margin that Brooks is helping the Rockets win by. So, what's Brooks doing that's making such a big difference? Well, it's simple. He's still playing with incredible intensity. He's guarding his man like his life depends on it. He's making it tough for the other team to score. And he's doing it all with a lot of energy and passion. Things that Houston didn't have last season. Now, I know Brooks has drawn criticism for his on-court antics. And because of this, we were sure that he was going to pack his bags and fly over to China. But let's be real, that's just a part of his game. He's a pest who makes every possession a nightmare for the opposition. And you know what? He's the kind of player you want on your team and hate to play against. Remember all those narratives about Brooks being a brick from deep?
A series in which Dillon Brooks, I want to make sure I got this right. I got this stat right here. Because I'm looking at Dillon Brooks here. In 6 games, he averaged 10 points and 3 rebounds on 23% shooting from three-point range and 31% from the field.
Well, someone forgot to tell him, but this season, he's draining threes at a mind-boggling clip of 50% after 10 games. That's a better percentage than Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. Like, what is going on? Is this hot streak from 3 sustainable? I don't think so. But is it incredibly ironic? Absolutely. I know what you're thinking. Are you serious? Jalen Green, the inconsistent one? Just hear me out. While everyone's stepping up their game, one thing that's caught my eye is Jalen Green's maturity in shot selection. Let's face it, Green wasn't exactly known for his shooting efficiency. He's always been a volume scorer. But hey, he's young. Like Brooks, Green was once a career 34% shooter from beyond the arc. Now, he's shooting almost 40% after 10 games. For a player with Green's explosive athleticism, that's a huge bonus. It seems like Jalen Green has made some serious strides in picking his spots. Let's break it down. Here are his stats from last season and his stats after 10 games this season. Now this is what I'm talking about. Green is not only taking fewer three-pointers each game, but he's also shooting them much better. Sure, he's not as efficient as we'd like him to be, but he's still young and is learning the ropes of a new system. Players develop at their own pace, and just look at De'Aaron Fox as an example. He finally broke out to become one of the league's top guards. I'm not saying Jalen Green will have the same kind of breakout, but with the right guidance and the right pieces around him, things could definitely work out for him. Who knows? Sure, he still has his occasional off night, like that 1 for 13 shooting performance against the Nuggets, or the 11 for 15 game against the Lakers, but something's different this time around. Green's decision-making has improved dramatically, and it's clear that he's taking the advice of Coach Ime Udoka to heart. He's no longer trying to do too much, and as a result, the Rockets are playing better than ever. Get ready to be familiar with the name Alperen Şengün, because this guy is becoming one of the best rising stars in the NBA. This young Turkish stud is arguably their best player and has the highest potential on the Houston Rockets roster. He's not just another young player, this man is the real deal, a diamond in the rough. When Alperen is on the court, the Rockets' offense explodes, scoring 10 more points per 100 possessions than when he's not playing. And it's not just about scoring. The team also dishes out 7 more assists per 100 possessions, showing that Alperen's presence elevates the entire offense. His skill set is unmatched and his potential is limitless. And just to give you an idea of how good this kid is, he's currently ranked in the top 10 in player impact estimate, ahead of some of the biggest names in the NBA. We're talking about the elites like Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, and Donovan Mitchell. The Rockets are simply a well-oiled machine when Alperen Şengün steps on the court. His nickname, Baby Jokic, isn't just a label. It's a testament to his immense talent and potential. This young stud is destined to make an all-star team, and it won't be long before we witness that. Just a few weeks ago, Şengün shattered records, becoming the youngest center ever to reach 500 assists. He surpassed none other than the legendary Nikola Jokic, achieving this remarkable feat at the age of 21, a whole year younger than Jokic himself. Şengün's meteoric rise has him firmly in the running for Most Improved Player of the Year. His on-court chemistry with Fred VanVleet is only getting stronger, and he's rapidly adapting to Coach Udoka's system. And Şengün's talent has already caught the attention of some of the league's biggest stars like Kevin Durant and Anthony Edwards.
Man, I always say I was gonna give some love to Alperen.
Oh, that was tough.
When it confirmed it to me when he dunked on. He was dunking on a couple people.
Oh my God, yeah.
I didn't know he can get up like that. He's nice. I like him. I think he's gonna be a good player. Like,
nah, all praise to, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but number 28, Şengün. He good, man. He good. Yeah.
Ime Udoka has to be in the running for Coach of the Year. He's completely transformed this Rockets team, which has not been known for its defense besides when the Dream donned this jersey. It's still early in the season, but the defensive identity that this Rockets team has developed under Udoka's guidance is nothing short of remarkable. Defense wins championships, and while I'm not saying this Rockets team is ready to win a title, Udoka's coaching has shown us just how far he can take a team with the right pieces in place. Just look at what he did with the 2022 Boston Celtics. This guy might not catch your eye at first glance since he isn't flashy. Casual fans might not know his name, but Jae'Sean Tate belongs to the overlooked player category, a silent warrior on the court who embodies the true spirit of defense. He's the type of player that does all the dirty work, things that doesn't always show up in the stat sheet that helps them win games. Before, the Houston Rockets were like a bunch of kids playing in a sandbox. No one was really sure what they were doing, and there was definitely no sense of direction. But now, things have changed. There's a new energy in the building, and a lot of that has to do with the buy-in from the players. Fred VanVleet is leading the way, both on and off the court. He's not only one of the team's best scorers and playmakers, but he's also a vocal leader who isn't afraid to hold his teammates accountable. Jabari Smith Jr. is another young player who's making a big impact. He's also one of the most vocal young leaders, and he's always looking for ways to improve his game. And then there's Uncle Jeff Green. He's more than just a fan favorite, he's one of the team's culture setters. He's always positive and encouraging, and he's always there to help his teammates out. Then there's the wild cards on this team. Amen Thompson, a young player with flashes of greatness, might not get a lot of playing time with veteran guard Fred VanVleet in the mix. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. A year of learning from VanVleet could be just what Thompson needs to develop into a star. Cam Whitmore, another young talent, was sent down to the G League. This might seem like a demotion, but it's actually a great opportunity for Whitmore to refine his skills and experience more game time. With his raw talent and the summer league performances we've seen, Whitmore could easily push for a spot in the Rockets' rotation if injuries or trades open up an opportunity. Remember the one word scouts used to describe what this team lacked last season? Discipline. Well, that's not a problem anymore. The Houston Rockets are officially ready for liftoff. Where do you think the Houston Rockets will be at the end of the season? Will they fall off or be a playoff team? Let me know in the comments below. I hope y'all enjoyed Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you made it this far.